So, Nancy, let's talk about the Kennedy Center board voting to change its name, the name of the Kennedy Center, to include President Trump, and not just include President Trump, to put President Trump's name ahead of President John F. Kennedy. How, first, is the Kennedy family reacting to this?
They're not thrilled, Vlad, to put it mildly. Maria Shriver, for example, put out a statement where she called it weird and downright obsessive of the president to even want his name to be on the building alongside John F. Kennedy, the former president who was assassinated while in office. I interviewed Joe Kennedy. He's a former congressman. He's the grandnephew of JFK. And he said that this is akin to Trump trying to put his name on the Lincoln Memorial, making it the Trump-Lincoln Memorial. He said, you can call it that, but that is not legal. Take a listen.
The name is protected by federal law and federal statute, and that obviously hasn't been changed. So he can call an apple a banana, he can say down is up, or they can say it, whatever that is. That doesn't make it the case. This is not just another building. It's not a skyscraper in New York City. It's not something whose name is up for auction. It is a living legacy to a man who gave his life for our country. And one would hope that any American, let alone a president, would understand that.
Technically, it would take an act of Congress to officially rename the Kennedy Center. But as you know, Vlad, that is not something that has overly concerned the Trump administration so far. They have changed the name on the building of the Department of Defense to the Department of War, the president's chosen name. The president's name also went up on the Institute of Peace, another D.C. landmark, a few weeks ago. And even members of the Kennedy family I spoke to said that they do anticipate that his name is probably going to go up on the Kennedy Center itself sometime soon.
Yeah, except that, so two things that I was thinking about, Nancy. One is Maria Shriver's heartfelt message that she posted on social media about just why this memorial was named the Kennedy Center, because her uncle, the assassinated president, and his wife, Jackie Kennedy, were so involved in bringing, before Camelot, as they call it, the White House could be sort of a boring place, and they made it a point to bring new artists and authors. They really supported the arts, and of course, Jackie Kennedy, after her husband was assassinated, continued to do so. And I didn't know that this was like the Lincoln Memorial or the Washington Memorial or the Jefferson Memorial, that this is the memorial to President John F. Kennedy. So that was news to me when this news broke yesterday. But the other thing that I wonder is, it's something that Major Garrett told me yesterday when we were talking about those plaques that are in the presidential, supposedly Wall of Fame, which is that the next president is just going to come around and most likely change everything back to what it is meant to be. Does the president or his advisors or the people who are, advising him on this not aware that this could become a tit-for-tat thing down the line?
I think they're fully aware, and they're certainly fully aware of the history of John F. Kennedy and how his name came to be on that building. But President Trump has been focused on this name change for months. It was just a few weeks into his presidency, Vlad, that he fired all the Democratic members of the board of the Kennedy Center, something that was very unusual. And not only did he appoint then people very loyal to himself to the board, but he took the additional step of naming himself the chair of the board. And he has made jokes periodically, which were clearly more than jokes, where he would sort of slip and say the Trump Kennedy Center, and then he would say, oh, ha, 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 no, just the Kennedy Center. He made it very clear that he wanted this name change. And Joe Kennedy told me yesterday he thinks it's great that Trump loves the Kennedy Center, loves the arts, appreciates the arts. He just thinks that this is the wrong way to show that appreciation.
And Nancy, quickly before you go, I just want to clear something up. When the press statement went out, when Caroline Leavitt, the press secretary, trumpeted this change, they said it was a unanimous decision by the Kennedy Center board. Is that accurate?
Yes. It doesn't appear to be accurate, because at least one ex officio member of the board who says she has voting rights, Joyce Beatty, a congresswoman, Democratic congresswoman, said that she tried to vote and that she was on Zoom and her microphone was muted, and she was not allowed to express her objection. She didn't even know that this was going to be on the agenda to be voted on at the meeting yesterday. So there is some dispute about who exactly was allowed to vote and whether this really was a unanimous decision. But if it wasn't unanimous, it was close to it, because the president has appointed people like Second Lady Usha Vance and his chief of staff, Susie Wiles, the country singer Lee Greenwood, to the board, all people who would be likely to support what the president wants here.
Yeah, Congresswoman Beatty saying this was not consensus. She called it censorship. Nancy Cordes for us at the White House. Nancy, my friend, if I don't see you, have a happy holiday. Although I'm working next week, Nancy. I might suspect that you are as well. Thank you very much.
I'm not.
You're not? Okay. Well, happy Hanukkah. And,
I am taking a break.
Yeah, you deserve it, my friend. You deserve it. It's nice to be here with you today, though. Thank you very much. Happy Hanukkah.
You got it.